Hey everybody, Doug Reynolds here, your Sacramento Area Realtor. I've got some good stuff for some buyers out there today if you're kind of looking to get into the market. We've got Erick Perpich here, loan officer with Republic Mortgage, and he's agreed to join us to answer some good questions for some buyers that might be kind of considering things. So Erick, a lot of times I get contacted by someone and they say, hey, I really want to buy a home, but my credit score is really bad. Or I don't have any cash for a down payment, or I'm not going to be able to cover my closing costs. I've got a job, but I can make the monthly payments there, but either my credit score is bad or I just don't have reserves to make that down payment or something. What advice can you give them for moving forward, or what hope do they have for potentially buying something in the very near future?
Yeah, those are all great questions, and I receive those questions a lot too. And I think the most important thing is finding the correct answers. I'll admit it that there's many people in our profession that, as long as it's not a deal that can happen tomorrow, a deal that can happen next month, they unfortunately don't have the time, and that's unfortunate. Professionals like you and myself realize that just getting to that point, wondering, hey, I would like to buy a home, but hey, I'm not sure if I'm there quite yet. Those are important questions, and a lot of clients, I would say half of them that come to us and come to me, are just looking to create a game plan because they do want to get there. And that's an exciting feeling. And we've all been there. There's unfortunate incidents that's happened in our lives to where, hey, maybe we're not quite there yet. So coming to someone like you and I, and we look at everything, maybe their credit isn't quite there yet, and maybe they quite don't have the money to get there. But creating that initial game plan is just as important as someone who's already done it. And sometimes it's actually more rewarding. There's clients that have came to me that you and I have worked with where they aren't quite there, and then 6 months down the road or 8 months down the road, they're finally there. And me personally, that's more rewarding than the person who might already be there.
Definitely.
So we can check the credit, and if the credit's not there, there are some tools that we have that maybe what we call a quick fix. Maybe there are some things that we can do initially right away to where we can elevate their score and get them exactly to where they want to be.
So if they're close, there's some strategies you can take to kind of quickly bump it up into that preferable range for the credit score.
Yeah. There's actually a software that we have that will tell us to a T exactly what we need to do verbatim to get their score exactly where we need to be.
Okay.
And if we can do that, we can definitely get them out there a little bit more quick.
Okay. And so that's kind of advice. So they can come to you and find out, okay, the credit score is not where it needs to be, but you can definitely guide them in the right direction to get it to where it needs to be in kind of the shortest amount of time, whether it be just maybe a couple of weeks if it's a certain situation, or maybe a few months down the road or something. So then now let's go to down payment and closing costs. With them coming out of pocket for those things. Now, what options are out there? What advice can you give about that?
I would say that question is probably the biggest question that we receive as far as closing costs, because times are a little tough right now. It's tough to save money, especially when you have a family. So there are some great down payment assistance options out there. Of course, the lender would always like to see if you had the option to either save, and there are some options to where you can actually get gift money from family members, which is always the second best option. But there are some great down payment assistance programs that are available.
Okay.
For instance, there's a program called NHF, and it is a bond-stated program by California. And I would probably say, on top of Cal HFA, which we can get into later if you guys would like, I would say it's the best program available, because essentially, we all know that there's nothing called free money, because it's a bond program, we all supported it, but this is essentially free money if they do qualify. So there are some really good tools out there if someone is lacking assets in their portfolio.
Okay, and so that's something where it's maybe not going to be probably a fit for everyone.
Correct.
But if you kind of fit into that specific guidelines for that could be an option for someone potentially?
Yeah, the major two requirements, Doug, are they have to have the credit score, and then they have to meet a medium income level. Which typically, I would say about 80% of Sacramento homeowners fall into that level. So people will be amazed about what actually is out there if they're seeking the right questions.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. So if you're kind of feeling like you're in that scenario, or maybe your credit score has taken a hit recently or something, maybe you really want to get into a home, but down payment money or closing costs might not be there, give Erick a call. He can definitely look over your situation and like he said, come up with a game plan. Whether it's going to be a real short one, it might only take maybe a month or two to get into that position to start buying, or we've had clients where it's sometimes a year down the road, where they've got to get that credit score fixed up, save a little bit, and get into that situation. But if you really want to buy a home, I think if you get a hold of Erick, he's going to be able to provide you with that game plan to get you to where you need to be. So give him a call, and feel free to give me a call if you got any questions in regards to buying anything or looking at homes or anything like that. We're both definitely available to help out. So thanks for watching today, and clear skies.
Thanks, you guys.